Cure for Wellness is directed by Gore Verbinski and stars Dane DeHaan as a Wall Street broker, I believe or he works for some kind of business in Wall Street, some law firm, or something where he is reported by his business to go look for a former member of this business in Switzerland that is being that is a patient at a mental institution in Switzerland. And so he goes on his way to this mental institution where he meets this doctor and discovers that this patient, that is the guy he's looking for, is pretty much under consolidation because he's having issues under mental health. Now, a little backstory. I'm quite a fan of Gore Verbinski's work. I've seen some of the films that he's done in the past, like with Mouse Hunt, the first Ring movie, and the first 3 Pirates of the Caribbean movies. And I think that this is a guy who shows a lot of talent with pretty much any genre he's able to be capable of. Now, I wasn't too big on his last film he did, The Lone Ranger. I thought that movie was bloated as hell, and it was too fucking long. Yeah. But with this one, after seeing the trailers of it, kind of got me curious because
it had a Shutter Island feel to it.
Yeah,
but it's not really not really much of a mental hospital. Basically, it's a hospital where people look to go for cures of problems they think they have, and they're suckered into by this kind of like mad scientist type guy who wants to do different experiments than what other doctors you get at hospitals. He thinks there's other ways of curing.
Yeah.
But he's like so enthused, but he's trapping these people and making them believe that they're sick.
Yeah.
So.
And the movie deals with Dane DeHaan's character, I forgot, obviously I just slipped in my mind, Lockhart, that's his name. His last name is Lockhart. Who goes on throughout the asylum, and after an accident happens, he's pretty much stuck there. That involves him basically wounded in one leg, and he's having to carry crutches.
And basically, the doctor tries to influence him now that he's not well, and that he needs to stay and have treatment.
Yeah, and
oversee him.
Yeah, and to continue to drink water, which we'll talk about here in a second but that basically becomes a theme present throughout the movie. Now, I gotta tell you right now, like, going to this film, I was kind of, going with the benefit of the doubt, because it looked like, from what it looked like, like you were describing, Shutter Island, but kind of mixed with like American horror story, like Asylum kind of feel.
I was actually interested in seeing it when I first seen the trailers. I mean, it looked like the Shutter Island, and I liked how it had like that. I can't think of that company, that Cinecope thing.
Christopher Nolan's production.
And it is actually shot like a Nolan film, and I just liked how it had that look. And I get into a lot of those like horror, thriller, insane asylum, hospital type movies. I get into shit like that.
Yeah, I like those kind of psychological thrillers.
Yeah, that are set in those hospitals, which is pretty cool. So that got me into it, and I'm actually a big fan of Dane. I think he's underrated as an actor.
Yeah, especially coming off of the movie Chronicle, which got him a big star.
Oh yeah, that was a damn.
And he was the only really thing I liked about Amazing Spider-Man 2. So I think that this guy is like really going places.
Yes.
And I got to right now, this movie really surprised me in a lot of ways. Like, first I'm going to get to my pros. I loved Dane DeHaan's performance. I thought that he, was perfectly cast as this kind of guy.
I actually liked everybody's performance.
Yeah, I liked him, and I also liked the girl. I forgot her name or plays her, but there's a girl that he comes across that's basically she's
doing that little noise that
she does this dance at first, and she's humming this theme song that Dane's character remembers from a backstory that we later reveal. Yeah. And it's also in the trailer too. She's humming the same theme song, goes na 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 na, something like that. And basically, as the movie goes along, she's referred to as a special case, and we won't reveal anything what that means
because there's some
twists in this film that really caught me off guard.
Yeah, I didn't see coming.
And I also really enjoyed the doctor, Jason Isaacs.
Yeah, I was about to say I couldn't remember his name, but I remember him in a bunch of movies.
He was in The Patriot.
Yeah, The Patriot. He was also in the Ninja Turtles 3.
Oh yeah, I think I remember him now. I guess
he plays like where they're in Japan back in those times.
Oh, okay.
He's the villain in that.
Okay, yeah. So, but yeah, I also really enjoyed him, and what I really liked about this movie is I like the look of the asylum, like the look of it, like it has that kind of Shutter Island feel to it, but also from the cinematography wise, it looks like Gore Verbinski, who directed the film, used the same cinematography he used on The Ring, on the first one.
See, I liked all the performances, Dane, everybody's performance was great in this film. That was another thing I really praised, the cinematography, the visuals of the Swiss Alps, because it's in Switzerland.
Right.
But I love the Asylum's capture, and some of the areas that he's going through kind of reminds me of The Shining.
Yeah, it does in a lot of scenes.
Because it gives you that kind of eerie asylum chill, and I'm glad they captured that, because when you do asylum type movies or old beaten down hospitals, that's actually pretty cool when they do that kind of I think the best way to describe it is The Shining with Jack Nicholson, where they kind of do a Stanley Kubrick look to it.
Yeah,
with the how everything is just one-sided color.
Right.
It's just one thing
color palette
forever. Like that one hallway would be it seems like it's just a maze.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool.
Now, I like the way that was set up. We won't spoil anything, but basically it sets up where he's basically walking through one place and it kind of stays on that kind of same look to it throughout.
Yeah. And then this place feels like a place where if you were lost in, you would get scared.
Yeah.
And that's why I loved about how they captured this asylum.
Yeah, definitely.
I praise them for that.
And I also enjoyed the mystery surrounding some of the patients in there.
Yeah.
Especially some of the stories we involved, with the main girl in the movie, of course. But also, they also reveal a twist of Dane's character and the doctor as well that I actually thought was pretty clever.
The asylum overall
it's
got a dark history that it's done some bad things to people, where a mad scientist was running and basically he loved to test shit on people.
Yeah.
So it has a dark history that's happened back in the old
200 years ago, basically. So. And not just that, but this film, I will try to avoid spoilers as much as you can, but this film has some really disturbing shit when you get to a lot of torture scenes that happen.
Yeah, because you get to see, and what I praise also highly about it is it showed us many different treatments instead of just doing a couple and that's it. We get to see all kinds of treatments this mad scientist dude is doing on people, fucking shock therapies. You get to see them making them where they go into water and they kind of drown. Then you have that tank thing where makes them hallucinate and stuff. So you get to see this a bunch of testing going on. And I will tell you right now, what surprised me is I didn't know it was going to be that brutal.
Yeah, they go into detail with that too.
I didn't even expect it to be that bloody and stuff. In some parts, I'm damn.
And it gets pretty gratuitous in a lot of scenes. There is occasional shots where there's nudity that's present, but we'll leave it at that because it's basically gratuitous. Old people, but it's meant to prevent shock value to the audience.
It's just shock value as in. Basically, a majority of the patients that are used are test subjects in this movie are pretty much old people, and Dane and this young girl that's in this film are the only young people, and they're considered special cases because the old people are pretty much. He singles them out to pretty much these old people don't got much family. He pretty much so he doesn't get caught on guard hey, where's my grandma at? So he goes after people who's pretty much lost a lot of family. So these elderly people have nowhere else to turn but him because they ain't got no family to take care of them. So that's the type of meat he likes to use. But that's what was pretty creepy is you see these old people buying into this dude's. He's got them making them believe that they're sick. And you can see them all doing the same shit every day.
Right.
He's got them fucking. Programmed like robots, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and when they get to the actual final climax, it gets to a point where it came out of nowhere, and I was just holy shit, that caught me off guard, and that did it in a great way. Yeah. Now, I'll get to my cons here in a minute. I liked what they did with the climax, but I will also dive into my con with it, because the way they set up with the twist was pretty cool with how they do it, because it all makes sense in the end.
But me and him had an ending that we think that could have been a lot better, and they went for your typical movie ending.
Yeah, your typical cliche Hollywood ending.
That was one of my cons.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now, but overall though, those are my biggest praise of the film. It looks great. It's well acted. Yes. It's got some really disturbing shit throughout, and I was getting involved in the story. But now I get to my cons where
the ending they could have fixed.
Well, first of all, much like with some of his other films, I feel like Gore Verbinski has a hard time with editing a lot of his films because there are certain shots, a lot of scenes in this film, not a lot, but there's quite a chunk where you could have easily cut out certain parts that really didn't need to be there.
See, alright, he goes into great detail, and he is good at story development on, like, history. He goes into great details, but we do got a lot of scenes that do hash every now and then, and it's the same shit over and over. The movie was 2 hours and about 35, 40 minutes long. It was too long. Could have been cut it down maybe. You could have cut it maybe 25 minutes out, because there was 25 minutes of shit that we really didn't need.
Yeah, there was a lot of exposition dialogue that was explaining. There were a lot of scenes that were explaining more of the backstory involved, which I understand where it led to, but some of the parts where they do explain more of it, they could have cut out and just revealed later with, because that wouldn't have changed anything as far as the pacing.
I agree with him on that. My other problem was there were some small bits of CGI that got a little too noticeable.
Yeah. Basically, it's the kind of CGI that it's not used too much, but basically you're looking at a similar movie that kind of uses it that I'm like, this one's better, but it still gave me flashbacks of that.
And I caught a little blooper right here. There's a scene where Dane actually, when they get in that car wreck and he rolls down that hill, with him and his driver roll down that hill because they hit a deer. Well, there's a scene where they're panning out when that deer finally dies in the middle of the street. And in the fucking cars on the road, I'm like, how the hell did it get there?
Yeah, it was just
so
like...
it's like, that's a blooper that they forgot.
It was like a weird editing error that was kind of disjointed in that part.
So they're assuming that the car, like, flipped its way back up on the hill. Like, dude, it went down like a quarter mile down a damn freaking mountain. There's no way that some bitch was right there in the street with that damn deer.
Right.
So I caught that as an issue.
Yeah, and another problem I had was... I do feel like they do set up a particular character in this film that is kind of thrown in at like midway through the film. He's just gone after that scene.
Yeah,
I'm like,
what the hell?
This character comes in like at the very last second. I'm like, what does this character have to really do anything? Because we don't get any build up or any history surrounding this character at all. Mm-hmm. So that threw me off. And then also
another thing I did like that we didn't really mention. It's not really big of a part of the story, but I enjoyed it. I like that little village that it's not part of them.
Yeah, they kind of remind me of Hostel.
And it does remind you of Hostel because you get like the whole gothic young youth of Europe, white Europe, European, and they're into that Rimmenstein look. It reminds me of that type crowd, and that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I did like that. That interesting little side plot right there was interesting. Yeah. I like that.
It's like you're in this world, and it gives you a timeout so you can see something different.
Yeah,
so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and also. One thing I also did have a problem with is that even though I liked where the ending was going, this kind of goes back earlier, I did feel like it could have ended on like a more ambiguous note instead of the ending they could have went with. Because the ending they went with...
They went with your typical Hollywood film ending where everybody goes home and type thing.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to go into detail, but basically it's pretty much kind of... You can kind of tell that the director was like, well, I do want to try to end it here, but that would be too ambiguous, so we'll try to explain
I think the ambiguous part would have worked fucking
It would have been, I would have enjoyed it.
Everything's got a happy ending. It doesn't have to have a happy ending.
And not just that, but the way it ends makes me question, like, okay, so what's really the resolution here? There's really, you're kind of looking at it like, okay, now you just made it even more confusing. Yeah. So I'm saying, if it would have ended like at least a little earlier in the movie, I probably could have enjoyed it at least there.
I overall was really impressed with the film. I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I would definitely recommend it. I'm going to give The Cure of Wellness an 8 out of 10.
I agree with you. I'm about the same way. Minus pretty much had the same experience you did. I'm going to give The Cure for Wellness an 8 out of 10 as well. Okay. So, what did you guys think of The Cure for Wellness? Comment below, and if you like what you see here, you can check out more of our reviews. And we'll be seeing you in our next one. We'll see you later.
Later.